assault raised concerns about Slaj's role in protecting its members. What protocols will you establish to safeguard journalists facing threats sincerely if you are elected Christian? The tragic death of journalist Slaj in 2005 following an assault raised concerns about Slaj's role in protecting its members around the country. If you are elected, eventually, what protocols will you establish to safeguard journalists who are facing threats in the country?
Thank you very much. I think over the years, Slaj has been known for only condemning negative acts against journalists. I think we need to step up. Because sometimes I tease my colleagues, I say if you are beaten, there's a template. You just backspace the name, and your name comes there, and we condemn. We need to go beyond condemning. And I think as a fireman, you all know me. I need to go beyond just condemning. We must take concrete actions to send a very strong message that we shall not tolerate the beating of journalists or assault of any journalist whatsoever. The tragedy of Arias was very unfortunate. And I want to commend those who were around them for what they did and how they mobilized and came together. But I think, as when I become citizen of Slaj, we should do more than that. We should leave a lasting legacy for people like Arias who were killed in line of duty. And I think it should be more than just condemn. We are condemned for too long, put out press releases, and people know that we can only condemn. Slaj just condemn. We should go beyond condemning. What we do is something that I cannot single-handedly say. It's a collective call. We should decide what we should do other than just condemning. But I think condemning is not enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime we mention about Arias, I passionately felt bad about it. Because Ari's issue was a kind of something I was involved in. In fact, I was the last person Ari spoke to before he passed off at the hospital. So I was proud with him because he was my passionate friend. And I think it's a matter we handle with some level of seriousness. We did not only condemn the incident, but we called for an inquest. And we ensured that we issue a news blackout, a monthly news blackout on all government activities that forced the government to establish an inquest. In that inquest, I was a star witness, I testified, and at the end of the day, we got justice. If I'm Secretary General, I will not only condemn, but in incidents like that, we have to go all out and fight it collectively. That's what we expect to do. And that's always happened. In this case, I was on the front line, and I knew what transpired. So the inquest itself gave us justice.
Thank you very much. Here is another question, and we'll start with you on this one. And the Slaj Constitution demands that the Secretary General regularly report on Slaj activities. Can you commit today that under your tenure, every member will have access to timely and unfiltered reports? And if so, how?
We are in digital stage, and I think I mentioned earlier on, the first thing I will do is to have a comprehensive database of every registered member of Slaj. The reason for that is for me to be able to communicate with every member of Slaj, irrespective of the region you belong to. So, being at the Secretariat, the first thing is to open up line of communication, to have an email address of every member of Slaj, so that at any given time, we will be able to share information with the rest of the membership. So that I will do, and we have to build a system to ensure that we respond to that in a timely manner, so that the membership will be fully briefed and updated on daily basis for happenings within the Secretariat. The more reason I mentioned about the triple C, that is communication, information sharing, and coordination.
Still have a few seconds.
Yes, so that I will do. And we have the email. We have to develop a database of every journalist, So it will be easy for us to communicate with them, to send them information in a timely manner. So I don't think there will be any excuse. If we have this kind of structures in place, then believe in me, you'll be able to get information from Slaj in a timely manner.
Thank you very much. Christian, this question is for you. Slaj is increasingly under scrutiny over political neutrality and internal governance. How do you plan to maintain institutional credibility whilst being the point person for all communication and the record keeping in the association?
I honestly would expect you to have, like we have been doing. That's my only plan.
There are a lot of questions.
I don't have a question.
How do you think?
Yeah.
You want to ask the same question as everyone else?
No, you can ask me the question you asked.
So we have over 50 questions here.
What I was saying, I was expecting the same question like when you had, because you told me your balance.
We're going to answer that. You can go ahead.
So I want to make it very clear that I receive emails from Slaj on a regular basis. If you don't receive emails, you need to check with the secretariat. Maybe something is wrong. But most members receive emails on a regular basis. And when it comes to communicating with the membership, I'm one person who's renowned for doing what I am trying to call live text commenting on all Slaj platforms. I'll update you about anything and everything that's happening at a Slaj meeting. Not because I want to be Secretary General, I've been doing this for years before I had this intention of going to Secretary General. So as Secretary General, it will be my responsibility to do that now. I've been doing it just as a member. I'll continue to do that as Secretary General. You all know that I write and voracious write. I love to write regularly. So I will not be Secretary General, and there are things to communicate to the membership, and I don't write with them. That is not possible. So that's it.
We have one more minute. All right. And the question is for you. Slaj is increasingly under scrutiny, as I said earlier, over political neutrality and internal governance issues. How do you plan to maintain institutional credibility while being the point person for all communication within Slaj?
So thank you very much. Those who know me know that I am one of the most politically neutral journalists. You can go back to my Facebook page. Let me see the there. I've been writing since I opened the page in 2009, and I have criticized and praised in equal proportions. And from 2009 to date, I did not seem to delete anything when I was running for Secretary General, unlike other people. So definitely, I will continue like that. I'm one person who believes in holding government to account. That's one thing. However, let me say this clearly. Slaj is not a government outfit or government mouthpiece. Slaj is also not an opposition outfit or opposition mouthpiece. Slaj is a body created to care for its members firstly, and then advocates for freedom of speech and freedom of expression generally. So definitely, whenever issues come up, we look at it from a very independent perspective, considering Slaj first. And of course, I know, if we did not have an independent executive, we all know what would have happened. Government will not give subvention to people they think are partisan. No, they have maintained their independence and credibility. That's why government continues to give subvention. Government will not repeal the criminal alignment law if we had a partisan executive. I want to build on those movements. The templates have been made. We are not reinventing the wheel. There's a template made, and what I want to do as Secretary General incoming is to build on the progress that has been made. Thank you.
Look, I think we have to maintain a system where Slaj and government relationship has to be based on principles, has to be based on cooperative approach. Over the years, we've maintained our independence irrespective of what other people might say. This issue of subvention, sometimes people talk about it, and I'm happy the former Secretary General of Slaj, Dr. Tambayo, is here. We started receiving subvention under the then President Ahmad Tijani Kaba when I was the executive, and then that continued when President Kuma came in, and again today there's another political will that continues to provide us subvention. It's not new. It's not new. So the reality is, what we do is to ensure that our independence has to be maintained. Our credibility has to be enhanced. So the government/Slaj relationship, I don't think whether the subvention will undermine Slaj independence. What is important, we should also be able, because government is not our enemy. We should also be able to collaborate with government on the issues of the media. Law reforms, obviously we have to support the government. If we are developing policies for the media, then obviously we have to collaborate with the government. Like now, the IMC is there. These are agencies that are working with Slaj. In my own view, it has to be a principal cooperative relationship, both between government should be able to understand their role, and also Slaj should be able to stand on its independence and also its credibility.
Thank you very much.
Members of the audience who would wish to ask questions can now please write those questions on slips of paper and drop them in the boxes in front of you, please, if you can. The ones that are for Christian, please drop them in the box in front of Christian, and those that are for Edward should be dropped in the box in front of Edward. We are rounding up slowly, so we'll ask you to hurry up if you want your questions to be asked this evening. Thank you very much. You have like 3 minutes to do that whilst we continue the questioning of the debaters.
If you already have any questions, you can come forward to drop them in front of the debater who the question will be directed to, please. Okay, here is another question, please again, we ask for your attention. What concrete initiatives will you introduce to build the professional capacity of media practitioners in Sierra Leone, particularly in the field of investigative journalism, fact-checking, and media literacy? Yes, we can go ahead.
Thank you very much for that question. Again, this is what I've done for the better part of 3 to 5 years of my career being a fact checker. I've traveled length and length of Sierra Leone, across the regions, holding trainings on fact checking, media literacy, and public education on several other things that are media related. What I'll do is I have a template. I'll build on the progress I have already made. When I was project officer for the Combating Disinformation Project, I have held at least 3 trainings in every headquarter town of Sierra Leone, Bone, Kerema, Makeni, and Tokyo. All of these trainings have to be fact checking, they have to be media literacy. So what I'll do, I am not going to invent the wheel again, I'm going to build on that progress that I have made.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Go over the question.
The question was, what concrete initiatives would you introduce to build the professional capacity of media practitioners in Sierra Leone, particularly in the field of investigative journalism and fact-checking?
I will say training. Training is part of life. You should be able to be trained and to be willing to accept reforms. What is happening currently, many of our colleagues in the provinces, they're going through a lot. They lack capacity building, they lack training. We have to open up opportunities for them, for training opportunities. As I sit here, I'm a member of several international media institutions. I went to institutes in Germany, I've offered scholarship many times to colleagues. Some of them are here, they've gone for training, they've come back. As I sit here, I'm an alumni member of African Media Communicators Institute in Egypt, Cairo. I've also provided scholarship to some of them to go and train and come back. Many of them including female journalists, male journalists, the opportunities are there. If I'm Secretary General, I will open up the similar opportunities. I will reach out to my counterparts in Germany, in Accra, in South Africa, and also in Cairo, so that opportunities will be given back to our colleagues for further training. So training is a part of priority for me.
Still have a few seconds to go, please. If you'd like to.
Sorry?
Still have a few seconds to go.
Yeah, so that's how we do. Like I said, I'm an alumni member of several media training institutes, and I will use my influence, my quota that they always send to me to give opportunity to journalists to be trained.
Thank you very much. Now we have concluded this session soon. There are two more questions. The first is, you are vying for an office where failure could delay Slaj's institutional memory and public credibility. Can you look every member seated in this hall tonight and say to them, I quote, I am more prepared than my opponent, and full conviction justify that assertion tonight? I will start with you, Christian.
Definitely. There is absolutely no reason why I will not look any member in the face tonight and say I am not more prepared for the next Secretary General. Because I keep repeating this. And I am one person who does not say I, because I believe in zero. But I always say I have done this before. I have served before. Not as Secretary General, not as an elected member of Slaj, but in the background I have served faithfully, humbly, and diligently. What I want to do now is serve the forefront, because I believe with the outgoing executive, there is need to fill in that gap. There's going to exist a gap that needs to be filled. And we need a balance of people. We need very mature people who have a good sense of institutional memory. We need very young, vibrant people too, to balance that equation. And that's where I come in. Because if Umar Ukofana was a very old person, we would not have been able to run around to CID every single time when a journalist was held. I remember a story where he shaved his hair, saying we should repeal the criminal libel law. That did not happen. But I have a very good blend of youthful exuberance and diplomacy. And that's what I've learned from here. I was a fire behind journalist, and I always believed that I had to be fire behind. But as years went by, I believed that diplomacy was what won the war. And that's what won the war, and it's like as well. Nobody is going to give you subvention if you are just this fire behind. You have to have a blend. And I come with that perfect blend. And that's why I count on each and every one of you here to vote for me as Secretary General, because I'm the fittest candidate, the only independent candidate on this platform. Thank
you very much. Anyone?
Yeah, thank you. For the past 25 years, I've worked in the media, I've done training, mentorship, and I've supported journalists. I've offered opportunity to train both within Sierra, outside Sierra, out of my own contacts. That I will continue to do, irrespective of whatever the outcome of the election might be. But I also have to say this, I'm also here to bridge, to serve as a bridge between the old and the young. And I'm happy today we have veterans, Virgil, the chairman of Virgil, Mr. Yusuf, said they are all here. I think the most important thing is the fact that we have to see ourselves as a family. I don't believe in division, which I have said to many people, and I don't believe in cabal. I'm not coming to Slaj to build on cabal. I'm not coming to Slaj to divide Slaj. I don't believe in the young. I don't believe in the old. What I believe in is united Slaj, and that should be our focus. We are a family. I want to say this. At the end of the day, I want to see Slaj winning. Not about me winning. Not about Mustafa State winning. Not about Manika winning. Let Slaj win. Let the best man win. Because this is the profession we belong to. And this is all we have invested, our time, our life, and everything. So for my colleagues that believe in division, it's not part of me. I don't belong to cabal. I don't belong to camp. I've traveled let and break this country within the next past 1 month, and I've campaigned on my integrity and what I've done for Slaj, what I intend to do. So I don't think I belong to that category that will look myself and say, oh no, we the wrong people, and I will tell you that will be so. I believe all of us coming together as a united family to develop Slaj. Division should not be our goal.
How will you measure your success and achievements?
Yeah, so one of the legacies I wish to leave, one of the things I'm passionate about, is ensuring that we have laws that do not infringe on freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Over the years, we have sat back and allowed laws to be made in Parliament that infringe on our freedom of speech. We do not want to wait for another 50 years to repeat the criminal libel law, for example. Now we have the Cyber Security and Crimes Act. We needed to have made our input, which we did, but we needed to be strong enough to ensure that it does not become law. Now we are advocating for a repeal or looking at some of the clauses and reviewing them. So as Secretary General, one of the things legacy I'm going to give is that I will look at every piece of legislation that talks about freedom of speech and expression. I'm not a lawyer, and there's no pretense to the law. But I have a law degree and I understand substantive law. I can read the law and understand it. Based on that background, I will read every piece of legislation, and anyone that infringes on the freedom of speech, I'll flag up, and the executive will work collectively to advocate against it. I always do that. Go to my Facebook page, go to my social media handles. I always speak my mind quite clear. And I speak my mind with no questions to my conscience. And I'll continue doing that as Secretary General. Whether some people like it or not. That's my character, and I'll continue to speak up. That's why I chose to be a journalist. I could have been something else, but I chose to be a journalist because it's a profession where I will speak up. And I'll continue to speak up in that way.
Thank you very much, Mr.
I believe in institutional reform, and I think Slaj should be reformed. The Secretariat needs to be reformed. 53 years, like I mentioned earlier on, we don't even have a land on our own. I want to leave a legacy within the next 3 years. The incoming executive, our priority should be, number one, to look at Slaj as an institution. I've said this to many people that Slaj is not a social club. It's a professional body. We cannot continue to operate like a social club. Every year, we ask for delegate fees, we go for the AGM, we discuss, we come back, nothing happens. We cannot continue to be under rentage. 53 years, if you cannot build a house, you cannot build a house on your own, and you claim to have worked, then you are not fit to exist. So I think we have to look at Slaj from that perspective, that we need to reform Slaj. Again, I also want to look at Slaj. We have to stop this issue of volunteer-led organization. Let's look at it as an institutional body that will be there not only to defend press freedom, seek the welfare of journalists, but also to create an enabling environment for the membership to feel proud that they belong to an organization that is called Slaj. Our secretariat, you all know, today, for the past few years, the secretariat is not one secretary. It's not the fault of the current executive, but this is something we all inherited, and I think we have to change that. Let's look at Slaj from that perspective and try to work on Slaj as an association of professionals that will be able to stand on its own and to have an establishment that we call our own.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. That concludes the questioning session. We'll now turn the microphone to the audience. I will ask both of you to please stand. Now, what you will do is you shake these boxes very thoroughly if you can, and pick up 3 sticks from each of the boxes, please. Shake well, please, before picking. Shake well, shake well. You will pick out 3 snakes eventually. Pick out 3 snakes. I'm bringing it to us, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. You didn't need to open it, but thank you. All right. Now we'll read out the names of these things. We asked there is one here. So I think we will need to perhaps this one has a name.
Maybe you need to, for you and
We did ask everyone to write their names on these things. It is through that we'll be able to identify eventually and call you to ask your questions this evening. So what we have done, excuse us please. Excuse us please. So what we have, excuse us please. Now, for those of you who we are not, excuse us. We are producing this garden. This is the only listen. Now, what we did, when we got invited by the State and Culture Union, there were clear rules stated on the paper. It was bold in it, we are only following those rules. It was stated that after we had picked these ballots, we would call the names on the seat, and it is those people who ask their questions to the candidates. Yeah, I wonder if the father only be able to say, please. So what we'll do for any of your programs is this. We would like to end.
I like you. I miss you. I really been don't miss you. I like how you been make me body feel. I like how cool you be. You been don't give me all waiting I want. Them been say you know for trust you partner. But I really trust you. You pure, inside and out. In fact, your cleanness and sweet taste, they make I go crazy. A gladdy, where grafting we love, don't come back.
In fact, what we just picked out is that some of these questions are very personal. Related to political parties. It's very important.
Ramzo J on the beat.
What's on a life? Crafty what's on a make a talk say. What's on a life? 60% of human are water, so what's on a life? Crafty for we, crafty for you and me. What's on a life? You are tight, good crafting. Now talk about purity, drink like when you talk. Crafting. I get you body, drink like what you more. Crafting. Feel the spark in every sip you take. Grafting, the water, it good oh, it good oh.
Mama, I can't try.
Una kushe, my name na Ellen Kista. Una welcome to the grafting water facility where the mission na for provide pure, refreshing spring water na salon. Na yaso we journey begin. Na the art for all this. We natural spring na the foundation for grafting water. We dey make sure say every bottle begin with the best gift we nature gets. We proud for keep the water clean and maintain the best quality. Na yaso the water they pass for go na the filtration and treatment lab. It they pass through boku stages like ion, carbon, ultrafiltration, polisher, and UV for make sure say every drop of water meets the highest international standard. At every stage, we dey take sample fast for the lab. The water bottle then can begin a small rubber tube. Then they pass na the advanced machine where they heat and blow them up. Then it turn to water bottle shape. This process they make sure say the bottle then light and they tay. After that, the machine can send the bottle then one time at the filling station. The filling machine they make sure say they fill the bottle correct one and fine one. This machine so advanced in not they allow any jams for enter inside. The bottle then seal with strong cover where not they allow dirty for enter. And the process so fast for make sure say the water fresh and get the best quality. During this process, the lab technician can take the water na the lab every hour for test them. Quality control na the main thing we dey do na ya so. What do they do for each international standards?
For each international standard, we grafting they make sure say we check for microbes inside water and also we dey check for germs them wey dey inside the water and bacteria. And also, they not tap there. We also dey check for excess chemical wey dey inside the water. So that it make grafting really special.
Okay. You see, this commitment to quality control, now it make grafting water so special. Where the quality assurance done they in place, it pass through one other machine where they wrap the label around the bottle fast. So when you see the new iconic grafting water label, it don't show say you for trust we brand. Where it come out there, the machine they wrap them fine and it puts in a bundle for make it easy for carry and go. Guess wetin? Na the first water company na salon we get robots where they pack the water fine na the pallets. This technology they make the work fast and professional. So we able for keep boku water na we warehouse for making us short in the market. This a fully automatic water machine na in they do all the work from the beginning to the end for keep the water safe, fresh and clean. And we get brand new truck the way ready for deliver the water to you anytime you in a salon. If you want smaller boku water, just call this number when 099 998 998. Grafting water, we love don't come back.
They don't have to pay that. So we are going to follow the course and make sure your question is the candidate you are inviting your questions.
So these must be questions of Edo. Thank you very much for all you like to say. Yes, pass.
Thank you. I am Samuel. My question is directed to God. Am I permitted?
Yes,
thank you. Looking at how national politics is creeping into state institutions that should serve as safeguards for democracy, Slaj being the exception. Now, this question is about specificity. What specific measures would the Secretariat put in place should any of you become the Secretary General of Slaj to prevent that venom from killing the potency of Slaj?
It's a question directed to both of them. So just send down, please.
Good leaders of today.
Yeah, so we need to make this very clear. Slaj cannot stop anybody from belonging or associating with the political party. It's a fundamental right to human being. So we have no issues with anybody associating with the political party. But when you want to run for office in Slaj, we have to draw that thin line between your political party base and your Slaj ambition to rule. And I've always drawn that line. That's why I think I'm the fittest person to be in the secretariat. A lot of people have not drawn that line. And we need politicians too, as Slaj. If we did not have politicians, it would have been difficult to convince government to give subvention. Let me say this clearly. If we did not have politicians, it would have been difficult for government to repeal criminal law. But they have people within us who trust. That's why we took these giant steps. And we will not take these steps for granted. But however, let's be clear that you have to draw a line between your political party affiliation and your executive position in Slaj if you are an executive member. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to you, everyone, please.
Thank you very much, Samuel. We are guided by the Constitution of Slaj. If we read the Constitution, it's very clear with this. And sometimes when colleagues argue about the issue of political interference or colleagues within Slaj, they are playing politics, you just need to read the Constitution and educate yourself. I believe colleagues that have participated in politics, whether through political appointment, they've always been prevented from holding any position in Slaj. And that is the law, and it's distance. And for some of us being coming to the Secretariat as Secretary General, I have to go with the dictates of the Constitution. We have to get this very clear, that the Constitution is the supreme authority of Slaj. And whatever is in there as Secretary General is what I will work on. So the question of political interference, I don't think, under my own leadership, will prevail.
Next question.
Thank you very much. To Edward. Now, tell us a personal experience where being a member of Slaj, has impacted your career, and how that memory will guide your work if elected as Secretary General.
My personal experience with Slaj, I think we've come a long way. And for me, I want to say this. Slaj has contributed a lot to press freedom. I remember in the days, before we came to the profession, we see how colleagues suffered. Dr. Tamayo was detained, Oligodi was arrested and detained, Paul Kama was arrested and detained. We also have Secretary. But today, we can say that we've come of age. For me, I look at Slaj as an institution that we have to build on, because it serves as a protection for all of us. So we have to ensure that we hold Slaj with our own heart, with our own mind, so that you and I will always be protected. So my own personal experience has always been that Slaj has always remained united when it comes about the fight against press freedom, the fight for press freedom, and also the detention and arrest of police. So I think we have done a lot in that perspective. And I have benefited in that regard, because under the SNPP, under Pakaba, I was arrested and detained. Under the APC, I was arrested and detained. And thanks to Dr. Tamayo and the then president of Slaj, Kevin Lewis, who intervened to secure my release. So again, I will say thanks to Slaj. Slaj has always been there for me.
Thank you very much, everyone. The guy in the eminence judge, please.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Jamael. My question goes directly to Mr. Mara. Mr. Mara, one of the questions which you gave on the outside is that you stated that if elected Secretary General, you will introduce a digitalized system to manage Slaj membership data. My question goes, however, it's already understood that Slaj has an existing digital database for this purpose. Could you clarify what exactly is lacking in the current system and how your purpose is different from or an improvement on what's already in place? Thank you.
There is always need for institutional reforms. You build on what you get, and then you will create new innovation to show the difference. I'm talking about a biometric data, compressing biometric data registration. We have a very good relationship with NACRA, and we can approach NACRA to help us in that regard. Our current registration system is not biometric. So I'm saying coming in to have a comprehensive membership registration has to be biometric. Because we have to move from this level of having manual registration of Slaj members. So in the 21st century, I don't think it's acceptable, and we have to be innovative now to ensure that we go digital.
You still have a minute, some seconds.
Yes, so I think I've answered this question. I want to hope that I'm not condemning what is there, but I want to bring in new innovation to build on what is already there, so that we can have a system that will be of international standard.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mara. Next two questions, please. Those are for Christian. Mr. Mara has answered 3 already. Still.
I know that Mr. Mara has answered 3 already, but I'd like the question that I'm asking now is for both of them. I please ask that you allow them to answer the question. My name is Sister.
Something the audience will permit, please? Not us.
Yes. Because.
Are you permitting it? Yes. Please go ahead.
So, I am the president of the media, and I know how hard it is to work as the president. I heard a lot from the contestants sitting here right now. I've heard a lot about what they will do. They make promises that I think that they cannot do right away. But I've heard from both of them. And what I want to hear from them is how well are they prepared to serve any one of those presidents and any one of those 2 people who are contesting? How well are they prepared to serve? It's easy to say, I will do, but you're not the president, unfortunately. And your first role is to serve the member, but your responsibility is to serve the president. So I want to hear, how well are they prepared? We all have a choice by now, right? And we all might have known who we are voting for, and including the candidates as well. So now they will have who they prefer to vote for, including both of them. So if your candidate is not successful, how well are you prepared to serve? Would you be sabotaging the president instead of serving?
Thank you very much. Who would like to be first? Another question.
Thank you very much. Let me clarify this. I will start with Mr. Alaji Manika. I have to say this, with all due respect, he has the greatest respect for me. He always called me as elder brother, big brother, big brother. He has never called me by my name. We've come a long way. We have shared a lot of good things together. Most of us say we worked together in the same executive in 2006. I have so much respect for him. For me, I've said this. I don't believe in cabal. I don't believe in division. We have to change our mentality in all of this, because this election is going some way. People think that we have to belong to this camp. I've always tried to campaign alone, for the fact that as Secretary General, I have the responsibility at the end of the day, if I become the elected Secretary General, to unite Slaj, to talk to the loser of the election, so as not to see taking sides. So I will uphold the Constitution, and I will ensure that whosoever is elected from your own mandate, that I will serve.
John, are you? Listen.
Thank you very much. I want to say I have a very cordial relationship with the 2 candidates. However, I'm somebody who calls people to order when you need to call to order. Whether it's Mr. Sise goes out of line, I call him to order. When Malika goes out of line, I call him to order too. And I will always do that. It does not matter who you are, how old you are, how young you are. If you are doing things that I also right, I will definitely call it to order and commend you if things are right. I've worked with Slaj President Ahmed Said as well as my boss, but there have been times at Slaj meetings where I have voted against his position, and I respect him because he has never come back to me and said, why did you do this? So this kind of person I am. So I have a very good relationship with both of them, and I am willing to serve any one of them as Secretary General. But foremost and most important, I'm serving Slaj. That's why I'm going to elections. If I am going to serve the president, I would have waited for the president to be and be appointed as Secretary General. But you are going to elect me because if you elect any one of these gentlemen and elect me Secretary General, it means you want me to work with the person elected as president. It does not matter what my personal prejudice is. I have a responsibility to perform that function and do so very effectively. And I'll do that to the best of my ability.
Thank you very much. One more question for Christian. In the white cap, please. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is David. I want to ask a question. I think it's good to about 490 people looking for each other in this community. And out of these 490 is the whole country. I want to ask you, is that the number of journalists you have in Sierra Leone? Are you pleased? Are you happy?
Yeah, I must say clearly that I may not be pleased that I only have 490. I want more members in Slaj. However, I think I am one person who is very particular about rules, regulations. We have a Slaj constitution. When members are taken in to Slaj, there's a certain requirement that you should meet to become a Slaj member. As Secretary General, I do not intend to water down those standards. However, it will be looked into so that we don't make it so rigid that people cannot become members of Slaj. But I'm not water down those standards. When it comes to elections and voting, that's not within my purview. Maybe that question should be for the executive or Slaj. They put the rules and regulations, we all pay our dues, registered, and they put out the voting list. So that is totally not within my hands to determine who votes or who does not vote. But I think I will work to ensure that we have more members. We have a lot of journalists who are not Slaj members. It took me a long time to become a Slaj member. It took some convincing. I never wanted to become a Slaj member from the start until I saw that Slaj was a very serious body and I needed to be part of it. So I'll ensure I talk to other people to be part of it. When next we have elections, we could have more numbers without voting out standards. That's the numbers.
Thank you very much, Christian, and that's Edward.
Thank you.
That's question for Taye for Christian. Yes, please. And that's the end of the question and answer.
The question was for both of them.
What's for them? That's fine.
Thank you. Doc, I share your concern, I share your pain. And I know Slaj membership is almost 1,000. The current delegate list is about 490. I think it's not encouraging at all. But all I will say is this: sometimes institutions, policies, rules, and regulations has to be followed. I've listened to some senior colleagues; they are very concerned to the fact that we are not giving enough time, to register. I've witnessed a situation wherein the Electoral Commission has come out to say, no, we are following the timeline that we have been given to conduct the election. So all I will say at this moment, we know that yes, there is an outcry. We will also believe that what has happened, we hope next time people will be given enough time, to exercise their franchise. Because closing registration a month to election, I don't think is enough. We have to allow people to be given enough time to register. So on that note, the executive, the commission, I'm sure that they are on discussion on this, and I hope that next time people will be given enough time to register and participate in the election.
so much, everyone.
And really will come to the end of the debate journey. Thanks very much to you, Christian Alpha Conte, and to Edward Mara for participating and formally opened the negotiation for this particular debate.
Indeed, appreciations also go to our audience across stereo and globe. This concludes these electoral debates for the Secretary General contenders. Good luck to both of you, Edward and Christian. We wish you all the very best. Up next is a debate and we prepare for the presidential candidates. Thank you so much.
Give me a shake hands, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It has been quite a very engaging.
It shows that when we collaborate and cooperate across institutions, we build that.
All right, thank you so much. So, we're going to have a very short goodwill message, and after that, we're going for the next set of debates for the presidential debate. So stay tuned. Let's have a goodwill message from different stakeholders.
I want to congratulate the Tokars for organizing this wonderful debate, for the people who are running to be president. It shows that when we collaborate and cooperate across institutions, we build better systems for our country. And I'm really happy that this is happening. For us as a government, our priority is to have we want to make the environment safe for our journalists. We want to ensure that no journalist is in prison or physically secure or safe for doing their work in journalism. And that includes investigating journalism, that includes journalism brings out the facts. And I think for that to happen, we need the Slaj and institutions like Slaj and Reporters Union to focus on the facts, focus on principles, follow the ethics of what their profession calls. And for that,
Una kushe, my name na Ellen Kista. Una welcome to the grafting water facility where the mission na for provide pure, refreshing spring water na salon. Na yaso we journey begin, na the art for all this. We natural spring na the foundation for grafting water. We dey make sure say every bottle begin with the best gift we nature get. We proud for keep the water clean and maintain the best quality. Na yaso the water they pass for go na the filtration and treatment lab. It they pass through boku stages like ion, carbon, ultrafiltration, polisher, and UV for make sure say every drop of water meets the highest international standard. At every stage, we dey take sample fast for the lab. The water bottle then can begin a small rubber tube. Then they pass na the advanced machine where they heat and blow them up. Then it turn to water bottle shape. This process they make sure say the bottle then light and they tay. After that, the machine can send the bottle then one time at the filling station. The filling machine they make sure say they fill the bottle correct one and fine one. This machine so advanced in order they allow any jams for enter inside. The bottle then sealed with strong cover where not they allow dirty for enter. And the process so fast for make sure say the water fresh and get the best quality. During this process, the lab technician can take the water na the lab every hour for test them. Quality control na the main thing we dey do na ya so. What will they do for each international standards?
For each international standard, we grafting they make sure say we check for microbes inside water and also we dey check for germs them wicked dairy water and bacteria. And also, the not up there, we also dey check for excess chemical wicked dairy water so that it make grafting really special.
Okay. You see, this commitment to quality control now make grafting water so special. Where the quality assurance done dey in place, it dey pass through one other machine where they wrap the label around the bottle fast. So when you see the new iconic grafting water label, it don't show say you for trust we brand. Where it come out there, the machine they wrap am fine and it puts in a bundle for make it easy for carry and go. Guess wetin? Now the first water company in a salon, we get robots where they pack the water fine at the pallets. This technology they make the work fast and professional. So we able for keep boku water na we warehouse for making us short in at the market. This a fully automatic water machine. Now in they do all the work from the beginning to the end for keep the water safe, fresh and clean. And we get brand new truck the way ready for deliver the water to you anytime you in a salon. If you want small or boku water, just call this number winner 099 998 998. Grafting water, we love don't come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let's settle down about to continue with the next set of performance. Hello? Hello? Let's please come back to our seats because we're about to continue with the next debates. The presidential candidates are already set, and we are going to find out as to what they have in store. Please find your way to the main hall and take your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's find our way to the main hall. We're about to continue, and do remember that time is not in our favor. So please find our way to the main hall as we continue with the debates. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to kickstart the other set of debates. The presidential candidates are set. We kindly call you to come back to the seat as we continue with the debate. Ladies and gentlemen, please come back to your seats. We're about to continue the next set of debates. The presidential candidates are set. The moderators are also set. So please also remember that we don't have enough time in our favor. We have to go back home. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are here, it is the Sunday Reporters Union election where we are talking about the welfare of journalists. We are about to elect the next set of executive to lead the Southern Association of Journalists for the next 2 years. In the meantime, we will definitely be hearing from the candidates what are their plans and their visions. So for that, we call on everyone to please come back to their seats and let us continue us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are now kickstarting the next debate. Introducing the moderators for this particular panel. First, we have Mr. Abdul Fattah, who is a prominent Sierra Leonean, human rights and social justice advocate with over 15 years of experience. He began his career in the United Nations Peacekeeping Mission and the Special Court of Sierra Leone. He is the founder and the CEO of Campaign for Human Rights and Development International in China, and leads the Election Conflict Prevention and Mediation Working Group in collaboration with national civil society members. Fattah has received multiple awards, including the 2021 U.S. State Department Certificate for Resolving a Major International Commercial Disputes. He contributes to the U.S. diplomatic efforts in Sierra Leone and holds a role in the Global Accountability Network like the United Nations Global Impact and GRI. He's also the founder of AM Fattah Mentorship Program. And one of our moderators today is also an alumnus of Harvard Kennedy School, the University of Salford, and the US IVLP. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished journalists, please welcome Mr. Andrew Fattah as one of the moderators for the presidential debate. Up next, joining Mr. Fattah as the moderator for tonight in the presidential debate is another trailblazer in Sierra Leone. Marcella Sambasise is a distinguished civil society leader and a governance expert with over 20 years of experience dedicated to fostering democratic reforms and good governance in Sierra Leone. She has been at the forefront of efforts in democracy, elections, and the women's rights, making significant contributions to these fields. Marcella serves as the Executive Director of Campaign for Good Governance and is the chairperson of the National Elections Watch, which is new. This is an election coalition comprised of over 400 local and international observers. Known for her compelling and consistent advocacy, she's a prominent voice for democratic reforms, citizen participation, and credible elections in Sierra Leone. Marcella's but locally and internationally, bringing her expertise in promoting transparency, integrating the electoral process. She holds a Master of Arts degree in Distinction Democracy, Politics, and Governance from the Royal Holloway University of London. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, please welcome our next moderator, Marcella Sambasise. Let's debate begin.
government. If we want to help democracy, we need to be having these kinds of debates where we can hear firsthand from the people who are aspiring to leaders. So we are really doing well. Now we want to read the rules. We want to read the rules. Democracy, politics, and participation can only take place within the framework of the rule of law. In any society, the rules matter, and the rules must be adhered to. So the rules for today are not stringent. It's just to keep us going. First and foremost, I want to mention that the debate will be moderated by both of us. I think that's clear enough now. And secondly, each of our presidential aspirants will give a 5-minute intro as to their vision for Slaj 2025 and 2027. It's a 2 years mandate. And following, each candidate will be provided 2 minutes to respond to questions. If the moderators see the need to ask follow-up questions, they can do so. So when we come to the audience questions, we will follow the same pattern as was in the Secretary General debate. Now I want to just write your name and drop it in the box. Write your name, not your question, because you will be literally asking your questions. Write your name and drop it in the box. So we're giving 15 minutes to the audience. This is your debate, not our debate. So we're giving 15 minutes for you to ask a question. And of course, the other questions will be according to how the candidate's choice of what's in the ballot. And we will ensure that we make this very interesting. And so we really want to admonish that we don't have any personal attacks. I repeat, we want this to be healthy and interesting. Please let's refrain from personal attacks. And let's see the vision of Slaj, because as I did say, myself and my co-moderator are friends of the media. I thank you so very much.
Thank you, Madam Sise. In a country filled with information, disinformation, independent ethical journalism is one of the last line of defense for truth, accountability, justice. Whether reporting from a hard-to-reach area or reporting local corruption issues, media organization reminds us of the vital importance of press freedom. As a journalist, we want you to comport yourself ethically during this process, both the candidate and members of the floor. And we'll be strict with timing, with our time management, 1 minute from the audience. If you cannot construct a message, which is a question, within 1 minute, you lose your slot. And in response, within 2 minutes, if you cannot respond within 2 minutes, you lost your slot. If you hear a message, thank you, that is a respect. So you should drop the mic. We should be serious and we should be in business. If we want to look like a democratic country or a country that respects rule of law, we should change the business as usual. And let's make business Thank you to the Reporters Union for according this opportunity to me and my colleague, Madam Sise. And we are here to ensure that we in the civil society have worked with the media to ensure that we have a free and fair process in this entire journey. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Abdul. Can I use this opportunity to graciously invite our aspirants to the floor in no particular order? Can I call Manike to come forward? And move to the please give a round of applause.
Okay with Manike. Okay, Manike.
There are endless possibilities of interactions through traditional media, social media, and numerous potential digitalization. The world is facing so much challenges. There is a drop in geopolitics, multilaterality, social connections within our countries have been factionalized. The media is the heartbeat of society to unite all parallels and provide biased, unbiased information to the public. How would you drive a ship for the next 2 years? Please give us your opinion. Please give us your opening statement.
You can proceed on here for your 5-minute opening statement, or you can comfortably sit here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and the moderators,
I feel very proud to be standing in front of you now to address you at this debate. I'm sure everybody here knows what most of us says. But for the purpose of the debate and for the purpose of the protocols, I'm Mustafa Sissé. I have a Master of Art degree in Mass Communication. I have a bachelor's degree in education. I also have a honor's degree in law, and I have a higher teacher's certificate. I have served as editor for Sarah magazine. I've also served as editor for Newswatch magazine, Newswatch newspaper, and I also served as commentary at AYP as head of editorial. Beyond that, I have had the experience of working for government in public service. I've also had the experience of working for the United Nations. I've also had the experience of working within the media, and I've spent much of my life within the media sector. I have been a Slaj member over 30 years. And since I became a Slaj member, I've always been an active Slaj member. From the day I became a Slaj member up to this point. Now, regarding the media convergence that you have already highlighted, I want you people to know that I am the first Secretary General of Slaj that created a website for Slaj. I'm also the first Secretary General of Slaj to send out an official email, to create an email account and send out an official email account on behalf of Slaj. This is just to tell you that we have been in the forefront in institutionalizing Slaj. I believe the institution we are the ones that secured the current secretariat that's being used by the current executive. When I contested for the position of Secretary General, I told you, if you vote for me, I will contribute towards creating a secretariat. And when you voted us in, we were able to secure the secretariat. We did not limit the office to Slaj. We assigned office spaces to our affiliates, which are important in Wasa. And we are also fortunate to be holding our meetings in our conference hall to be secured. Before that time, we are holding our meetings at Slaj and Labour Congress. But since we secured that secretariat, we have been holding our meetings in our offices. We are also part of the executive. I was also part of the executive that created regional offices for Slaj. The details of our success within, we are in the forefront in terms of standing up for the rights of journalists. Manja Bali Masala is an example. I'm sure during the discussion we'll go into all of that. There is also the one that has to do with public. There is also the one that has to do with medicine environment. But during the course of the debate, you will come to know all of this. So I just want you to know that we are the forefront in institutionalizing Slaj. And the institutional structures that we established over 15 years ago are still the same structures that are being used by the current executive. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sissé. That was all over 3 minutes, 57 seconds. And now I would love to use this opportunity for Mr. Kamara to take audio comfortably seat and share with us his 5 minutes talking point. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Moderators, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Alhaji Mahika Kamara, outgoing Secretary General of Slaj, and also a presidential candidate for the upcoming Slaj 2025 elections. I am happily married to a respectable our newspaper, one of the most credible newspapers in Sierra Leone. I started my journalism career in 2005 when I enrolled at the Mass Communications Department at Fabio College, University of Sierra Leone. 5 years later, after graduation, I started practicing at the Congo newspaper as a top reporter. Few years later, I joined Slaj. The next 15 years, I dedicated passionately my professional journalism career to the practice of journalism. I reported parliament. I traveled the length and breadth of the country, reporting community and human interest stories. My name is synonymous with Media Awards. I've won a total of 12 awards in various categories, including an international award in gender reporting in Ghana, awarded by the Media Foundation for West Africa. In 2015, I had the opportunity to serve as the financial secretary of the Sierra Leone Reporters Union, which I did diligently. In 2016, I had the opportunity to represent Sierra Leone at the international level as the very first fellow of the China African Press Center. In 2019, I was elected Assistant Secretary General, the position that gave me the opportunity to learn more about Slaj, its roles in the media ecosystem and society in general. In 2021 October, in the absence of the substantive Secretary General, the membership of Slaj endorsed me to serve as the acting Secretary General of Slaj. A few months later, I was overwhelmingly voted in as the Secretary General of Slaj. As the Secretary General of Slaj, I worked very closely with the President, Ahmed Said Nazgala, and I understood him very well. Together with other executive members, I take pride in the outstanding achievements recognized within the last 6 years I served as an executive member. Together, we take the blame collectively for the failure we encounter during the period, if any. Colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am inspired. I am motivated. I am energized to continue to serve in a higher position as the President. The reason is simple. We've laid the foundation for the media development in Sierra Leone. With our manifesto, the media we want, supported by the European Union and the National Action Plan, supported by the government of Sierra Leone, the BBC Media Action, and the International Fund for Public Interest Media, we now have a clear pathway for the new future of Slaj and media in Sierra Leone. We don't want a fresh start. What we want is action, advocacy, commitment, transparency, innovation, organization, and networking.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hey. Okay. It's okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
during that month? If no, what are the challenges and how do you intend to confront them if elected? It's a question we really want me to take it up on you. Is it okay? Please.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I want to say that when we talk about press freedom or freedom of expression, you first of all have to consider that there are international standards, there are best practices in relation to press freedom and freedom of expression. It is those best practices that are integrated or are supposed to be integrated into our laws. So one area in which we should focus as an association is to ensure that those laws comply with best practices. The one aspect that we will handle is the issue of law reform. There are 2 laws that have been passed recently, and those laws are open to appeal. I will make sure that I work with members of Slaj and other key stakeholders to see how we can influence the review of those specific provisions that are put to appeal. The other aspect that we have to focus on, I intend establishing a solidarity fund. That solidarity fund will be used to support journalists who are attacked in the execution of their professional duties. Journalists who face challenges or who face extremists or are subjected to treatment that are not supposed to be subjected to. That fund will be dedicated to them. Apart from that, we will also be providing legal support for journalists who are prosecuted and persecuted in the line of duty. Now, that is the one that has to do with the law. That is the
do you enjoy your freedom and rights? It has to start with you before you can extend it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're moving to one field.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Okinto. I want to say clearly here that no, we are not enjoying the full rights of freedom of expression. Despite the fact that in 2020 we have a bill that people are celebrating that we are enjoying press freedom, but no. Reason being, we don't have any progressive law that supports press freedom. All the laws that we have, they have limitations. As the president elected by the membership, I will ensure that I push for a progressive law. As I speak, we are discussing with the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Myself and the President of Slaj presented the proposed Chapter 12, a stand-alone chapter for the Constitution. So if elected as President, I will continue with that advocacy to make sure we have a progressive law, the very first time in the sub-region. Because all the existing laws, they are not progressive. They all have limitations. If we look at the 1981 Constitution, Section 11, Section 25, they are not progressive. They have limitations. So we need a stand-alone chapter relating to freedom of expression and press freedom. Additionally, if elected as the president of Slaj, I will set a pool of journalists that will be throughout the country representing journalists who are being arrested or intimidated. What we are facing at the moment, when journalists are being arrested, we issue or they are being intimidated, the issue of press and then the day of follow-up. At the end of the day, the matter is not prosecuted. That is wrong. We need to test the Lord. We need to test the Lord. That's why he elected as the president of Slaj, and we set a pool of journalists that will be ready and prepared to represent journalists across the country. Thank you.
Okay. We move to warfare. How can impunity for crime against journalists be addressed? And what role should government and Slaj play in holding perpetrators accountable? Question for both. Mr. Sise is number one, and Mr. Kamara is number two. Mr. Sise, please.
Now, let me start with Slaj. When you asked me that question, I said yes. And yes was in relative terms, in terms of other issues. Now, we are aware that to protect journalists, there are a lot of things involved. One, it has to do with law, and as I said, I will be part of influence the law reform process in relation to media practice and press freedom and freedom of expression generally. And also, all major stakeholders between the media circle have to be engaged to ensure that press freedom and freedom of expression are respected in Israel. We have been facing a series of challenges with the security sector, particularly with the Israeli police. And there is already an existing MOU between Slaj and the Israeli police. We will ensure that that MOU is enforced. Because that is one of our greatest threats in relation to press freedom. So when I talk about us enjoying press freedom, it is in that relative term. Now, we notice that a lot of our police are being arrested at the CID when we already have, taken to the CID when we already have the independent media commission that is supposed to deal with press freedom and freedom matters and freedom of expression that we build in media. So what we basically do is to ensure that we strengthen the capacity of the IMC to be able to deliver on its mandate, so that matters will be taken to the IMC rather than the police taking the law into their own hands. So apart from that, we also have to constructively engage in charting the way forward in relation to freedom of expression and press freedom.
Thank you, Mr. Sise and Mr. Kamara.
Thank you very much. Talking about safety and security for journalists, I must clarify here that the MOU is existing. Just yesterday, myself and the Slaj president, together with the Director General of SSBC, we had the CID accompanying one of the technicians of SSBC who was invited by the head of CID for questioning. Because of the existing MOU that we signed in 2022, we are able to address that issue amicably. Also, if elected as the president of Slaj by the membership, I will ensure that we do not only rely on that MOU, but we also move a step forward by engaging the state security, particularly those assigned to the president, vice president, and the president. Recently, there was a complaint about our colleagues being intimidated at the State House when the fire broke out. I had a conversation with the Chief Minister, and I have already booked an appointment for him to set that space for us to discuss. They need to know our roles and responsibilities. I will continue to engage on behalf of the membership of Slaj to make sure that safety and security of journalists is assured across the country. As I speak, there is an existing platform under the Media Reform Coordinating Group where civil society, the media, and the security sector will discuss. We discuss issues, we exchange ideas. So it's a gradual process. If elected as the president of Slaj, I will continue with the engagement and the friendship that exists between the media media and the security sector.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much for those round of answers. The next set of questions. Hello. The next set of questions will be focused on gender. The first is Mustafa, and next followed by Mike. I will be asking you two different questions on gender, but questions that are closely related. So, Mustafa, this is your question. The issue of gender inclusion is critical to all democratic spaces, and media is no exception. Today, we see the absence of women in senior editorial and leadership roles in most media sincerely. In fact, both males running for the Slaj leadership currently. With this scenario, can you articulate your gender strategy if elected as president? How do you ensure that Slaj's policies, codes of ethics, and strategic planning are inclusive and gender responsive? Thank you.
Now, we already have a gender policy that all of us within Slaj have put on. I will ensure that we review the gender advisory panel, we constitute the gender advisory panel to make it more effective and efficient. That is one. Secondly, we will ensure that they are able to secure funding to deliver on their mandate. Because if those structures are established and funding is not available for them to execute their task, it becomes very complex and complicated for them to do. Now, in addition to that, we maintain zero tolerance to harassment and intimidation and discrimination in the workplace against women. That is one thing that we do. So, because of the existence of the advisory panel, journalists who are harassed, particularly the female journalists who are harassed, can now file a complaint because we have a number of them that are being harassed, but they are scared of complaining. They are afraid of complaining. So beyond that, after the part two of that, when my executive will be appointing representative of MSCs to public offices, I will ensure that we have at least 30% of them are women. 30% will be women. And that is not the maximum. The 30% is the minimum. It could go to 40, 50, 60, and more. Now, I will also ensure
that. Do you have 60% women journalists? Do you have 60% women journalists?
Yes. If I have what? Sorry.
You said 40, 50, 60% representation. Does your membership comprise 60% of female journalists?
Well, I'm just saying that is the minimum. The 30% is the minimum.
What's the data in terms of the strength of journalists as per disaggregated male and female?
Well, I am not sure of the exact, but I think it is something like 30%, almost 30 to 70. If you talk about the ratio, I think it's 20 to 30. But the 30% is the minimum. That is appointment to public office.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sise. Thank you so much. Mr. Kubra, please.
So next is a similar question tied to this one. And this borders around the safety and security of female journalists. You see, during the execution of their daily roles, female journalists face a
Thank you very much. To start with, when it comes to gender and some of the rights, that does not mean I don't like my male colleagues. It's simply because I was raised like a single parent. I lost my dad when I was 7, so I know exactly how it feels. So, talking about threats and safety of female journalists, we already have a gender advisory panel that we set up in 2019. And that panel is responsible to advise, Slaj, and conduct gender survey. In 2023, we successfully launched the gender equality policy, the very first in the sub-region. So, if elected as the president of Slaj, my very first point is to make sure I put into action the existing gender policy. Secondly, I will ensure I cascade the gender policy to each and every media house. They should incorporate that into their policy so that there will be equality within the media houses. Secondly, I will work closely with Filmstars in the area of GDP, harassment, or whatever. As I speak, there is a pending project supported by the European Union through the BBC Media Action for capacity building on digital and online services for female journalists. At least 30 female journalists will benefit from that project at the Ukombe University. Recently, we started.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And we know that you guys are enjoying this session, but you can respectfully allow your candidates to share their vision with all of us in a clear and peaceful manner than interrupting the process. You will continue to celebrate them after this session, but now, please respect ethics. Thank you. We go to institutional strength. I want to ask 2 separate questions, but all depend on institutional strength. So Mr. Sise, we have one, Mr. Kamara have the other one. So for Mr. Sise, can Slaj be strengthened more effectively through internal reform or external intervention?
Slaj is a company, a limited liability company, and it is not sort of a commercial institution. So it has to raise funding, it has to develop project proposals to raise those funds, and also have to engage partners in order to implement programs. So in one aspect, internally, Slaj needs internal strength in terms of institutional capacity, personnel capacity, and resource mobilization. And then externally, Slaj also needs support from other institutions in relation to resources to be able to deliver on that. It could be from government, it could be from the NGO sector, it could be from our international partners. All those resources put together can contribute towards strengthening the institutional capacity of Slaj and also strengthening the personnel capacity of journalists who are practicing. Because media institutions face a lot of challenges, particularly in electronic media, like radio stations and television stations. So, in order to meet those capabilities, huge funding is required, and Slaj does not have that. For example, my executive intends ensuring that we establish an own secretariat, that is secretariat belonging to Slaj, rather than continue to occupy other people's structures as our secretariat. the regional office in Kenema have already started constructing their secretariat. We will also have to see how we can encourage those in the south and those in the north to secure funding in order to develop their own programs.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Kamara, please. Should Slaj institutional strengthening focus on building technical capacity or addressing underlying structural issues?
Thank you very much again. I think we should focus to building technical structures. When we came in 2019, we inherited a very good structure that we are building. Before now, we used to pay our delegate fees for subscriptions at the secretariat. But as I speak, we pay to the bank. When we came, we realized that there are some gaps and we need to build on those gaps. In 2023, the executive invited the Anti-Corruption Commission to do a system review to advise Slaj so that at the end of the day, Slaj is very, very strong. And they completed the review, and in 2023, during our annual general meeting in Kenema, they presented 52 recommendations. Fortunately for us, in 2024, during our AGM in Bo, we implemented some of those recommendations. And if you check the 2024 Slaj revised constitution, we don't need a fresh start. If we appoint all those committees, we now have provisions for the audit, internal auditors. We now have provisions for the procurement committee. We now have provisions for the integrity committee. And more importantly, we now have provisions for the Slaj electoral court. So with those structures in place, I think Slaj will be better placed in terms of institutional strengthening. Additionally, as I speak, the International Federation for Journalists, IFJ, they are currently...
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is quite interesting. We are fastly moving to the final week of the debate. But 1 second, Malika. Can you... I asked one question. Can you tell us the strength of Slaj disaggregated by gender? Maybe we just talk about institutional strength.
For the records, it's not actually, general questions from the diplomatic area. She's really a follow-up that she did with Mustafa earlier in all the way. I mean, that's what. Not from the original question. These are follow-up. Are we okay with that? Right? Are we fine with that, Mr. Sisi? Thank you.
Thank you. I must assure the membership that there is gradual progress when it comes to female representation in Slaj. In 2021, 2023 intake, I can assure you that 40% of the members that we have recruited are female members. 2021, 2023. And now I can authoritatively again say here that we have at least 41% female representation in the Slaj database.
It's not 28 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we move to the general questions, I have a final list of mis and disinformation. The question is one, and you both have the turn to answer it. We live in a more smarter and powerful
Daniel to be the lead advocate for freedom of expression, for freedom of speech, and for press freedom. What exactly are your plans in addressing mis and disinformation beyond fact-checking?
By the way, Mr. Cicero. Thank you very much. Now, we are already experiencing the world of converging media, as you rightly indicated. We will ensure, my executive will ensure that we make the most of digital technology within the media sector. That means capacity has to be built, capacity has to be strengthened. One area is media literacy. Before this time, when we were in the executive, there was a time when computers were even only accessed from internet cafes. And we organized training programs with the British High Commission through the British Council to ensure that journalists build that capacity. So when my executive is elected, we try to see how we strengthen that capacity. There is already in existence also the I-Verify. The I-Verify project, which is currently being implemented by the current executive. All of us as staff members contributed towards ensuring that we have a system in place in order to be dealing with those issues. So, first of all, I removed the staff I-Verify project from the Secretariat through a suitable office, and then we also try to see how to expand on that. We expand on the staff capacity there and the institutional capacity there as well in order to deliver on that. And we will also conduct training in disinformation and misinformation and deep fake education in order to strengthen and build media capacity and the capacity of media personnel. Thank you.
Over to you, Monica. Mis and disinformation beyond fact-checking.
Yes, thank you very much. Like I said, we have an MOU with Kobe University. When elected as president, I work closely with my executive to make sure that we extend that MOU to other universities across the country offering courses on mass communication. We need to build on the capacity of our members right across the country. There is no way you can give what you don't know or what you don't know. So we need to build on the capacity to make sure that they know the tools to fact check this fake AI or whatever. They know the tools. Additionally, I will focus on the area of public information, public education. We will engage the market women, the attendees, for them to know exactly how to use these tools so that they can detect this information earlier. The only way we can combat mis and disinformation is when we equip the media properly so that we can release timely and factual information in a timely manner. Once we start doing those things, members of the public will have huge respect for the media. The I-Verify platform was started in 2023. Because of funding constraints, we cut down on the staff. Once elected as president of Slaj, I will ensure that I engage the donor partners for them to expand these fact-checkers right across the country. The other project that we are operating, the NDI platform, they used to have coordinators at the regional level. So I will engage donor partners for us to have at least regional representation at each region so that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We are getting closer towards the end of this session. My colleague just asked her last 3 independent questions, and I'm doing my last 3 independent questions. And it comes in 2 folds as well, like the second one. specific one to each of you. And this one also have a general follow-up question like she did with the data issue. And for Mr. Cisse, I mean, this is in relation to Slaj and government Australian relationship. Is the relationship between the government Australian and Slaj collaborative or adversary?
Well, for now, I will say it is midway. It is midway because there are laws already set in some aspect of press freedom and freedom of expression, while the government is supporting to build the institutional capacity of Slaj. That's why I said it is midway. It all depends on the executive in authority. Now, the government is providing funding to Slaj. Everybody will definitely assume that that will compromise the operations of Slaj. But then, if we have an executive in authority that is prepared to protect independence and integrity, there will not be any issue in relation to that. That's why I said it is midway. Slaj has also been collaborating with government on a number of projects and programs. And Slaj has been represented in government in various institutions contributing to the development program. So it is a midway approach. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cisse. Mr. Farah. Can the government of Australia and Slaj work together to promote press freedom and responsible journalism in Australia?
I can say yes. We've been working with the government closely. In fact, that was why we were able to convince the current government to build Part 5 of the 1965 Public Government Act. As I speak, the National Fund for Public Interest Media, the government is a counterpart funder. That particular project is the capacity building for the media in Sierra Leone. We can collaborate closely with the government to build on the capacity of the media. The relationship between Slaj and the government is a cordial relationship. We expect them as the government of Sierra Leone, and they expect us as an independent institution. The subvention that we are receiving from the government, despite that, we did not mortgage our integrity or independence since we started that subvention. I can assure you, we've been holding government to account professionally. In 2021, when the Auditor General was suspended with a deputy, Slaj was the very first institution that issued a press release. We did not only condemn the act, we requested for additional information. That is responsible. We all government to account responsibly. We can support government. When government was advocating for the permanent security seat at the United Nations, Slaj will issue a statement supporting government bills. We are not an opposition or a government mouthpiece, but we support development. So government and Slaj can work collectively to promote press freedom. And we are calling on that's why we are calling on the president not to stand.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. With a follow-up question for all of you, Mr. Cisse, you can answer. By order. Does the government of Australia respect Slaj independence and autonomy? Does the government of Australia respect Slaj independence and autonomy?
In law, I will say yes. In practical terms, there are issues there. But also relatively, the government have been respecting some aspects of the laws that relate to Slaj and the operations of Slaj and the functions of Slaj. So when we talk about government respecting the autonomy of Slaj, yes, government provides funding to Slaj. The government supports Slaj in terms of institutional capacity building through funding. Government also integrates Slaj into the implementation of programs. But then there are other governance structures that are threats to freedom and freedom of expression. And one of them that I highlighted is the security sector. For example, the police.
Thank you, sir.
Also part of
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Kamara, same question, please, for 1 minute. Do you want me to repeat? Thank you, sir. Does the government of Australia respect large independence and autonomy?
Again, yes. Like I said earlier, the relationship between Slaj and government is a mutual relationship. We expect them and they expect us. Throughout these years, all our decisions are independent. We did not allow any government interference or political interference in the activities of Slaj. Whatever we want to do, we discuss as an executive. Sometimes we consult our legal people or the relevant authorities within Slaj before we issue out a statement. So whatever decision we take as Slaj is independent, devoid of the fact that government is giving us subvention. They are not dictating what we are doing. We are doing whatever we are doing independently as an association. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now moving to the last question out of the 7 thematic area. And my colleague, Mrs. Cisse, she will ask one question for both of you. And I will also ask one question to both of you. And so,
Thank you. So the final question is on capacity building. A very, very important component, but often overrated and displaced. Everybody's talking about capacity building, but we hardly have time to have an eye on exactly what we want to do. So I'm going to ask you a yes or no answer, straight to the point before I pose my question. Mustafa, what 2 issues are you focused in terms of building capacities in Slaj?
Now, one is institutional capacity strengthening. I've already said that.
What to do?
By the executive
What to do?
We just do.
What to just identify the basic
Okay. One is ensuring that Slaj have its own buildings to operate from. That is one. And also to ensure that journalists who practice have the regulatory capacity to practice in terms of capacity strengthening.
The same thing on the what issues is
You are not there, but sorry. Huh? You are not there. We have responded to the question.
What she actually was, she just built the preamble, and so she wants 2 specific areas for you and your colleague as well. So now you have given us 2 areas, and now they want to ask your colleague. She want to ask your colleague, and the question will come later. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
No, hold on. You can sit down and we will ask, please. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Yes, what issues do you have on your plate for capacity building Slaj?
One is to sign MOU with all the universities across the country that are offering courses on mass communications. And secondly, to make sure I seek funding for scholarship opportunities for members of Slaj across the country.
Thank you so very much. These are very passionate, high questions.
Hold on, please.
My question is, you can choose to answer anyone there. Now looking at the Sierra Leone economic, political, and social landscape, there is actually a very clear gap in terms of economic journalism. In a society where citizens' rights and welfare, reduction of poverty and accountability are high on the expectations of citizens, what are your plans to upgrade journalists in Sierra Leone to address the issues relating to economic journalism, vis-a-vis public financial management and tax-related journalism? You can choose to answer any one of these. A retrospect of the political, social, and economic environment in Sierra Leone tells us that there is also a gap when it comes to countering polarization. Basically, I am saying citizens across the board, to a large extent, have taken sides. It is not about me, because the society has two dominant political parties. If we had five, then we have five different shades of people. But we only have two. And so we are stuck fighting in the middle as a nation. What is the strategy for capacity building in terms of mutual reporting and professionalism within the media landscape in Sierra Leone? So my question to countering polarization and economic journalism, these are key gap areas in Sierra Leone. How build capacities to address them?
Mr. Sisse. Mr. Sisse, what? Okay, well. In terms of the aspect that has to do with the economic reporting and enhancing the structure of media institutions, I'm coming into this race from the Independent Media Commission. And at the IMC, we have been trying as much as possible to institutionalize media institutions to ensure, for example, that there is an editorial team and there is also a management team. Because for institutional efficiency, you need to have those structures in place instead of everything merged into one. And beyond that, there are institutions that are engaged in financial regulation. At some point, we had to engage the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the partner with Slaj to organize training programs for journalists in order to enhance their capacity in economic reporting. So that was one key way in which we tried to enhance their capacity, apart from the general one that was provided for them. So capacity building in terms of economic reporting and institutional structure in terms of transparency, bookkeeping, and accounting procedure are efficient for the institutional structures. Thank you.
Yes, Manika, proceed.
Yes, I will also respond to the economic reporting story and questions. We have the budget advocacy yet that is working on that aspect. So, if elected as the president of Slaj, my executive will engage BAN to see how best we can build on the capacity of journalists reporting the economy. There was a body reporting economic in Sierra Leone that we used to call it the DIGA. I don't know whether they are still existing. I will make sure I invite that body in Slaj and work with budget advocacy network closely them to build the capacity of those members. And again, as I speak, under the media project supported by the European Union, there is a component of building the capacity of journalists that are reporting the economy. Budget advocacy is also under that area. So, if elected, I will look out for more resources to work with man and build on the capacity of journalists reporting on the economy.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And now my final questions on the same subject, capacity building. And this goes to Mr. Kamara, Mr. Assistant, sorry, please. Should capacity building focus on individual skills development or institutional strengthening?
I think I have already addressed those two aspects in terms of capacity. If we talk about the capacity building or capacity development, the institutional capacity as well as the personal capacity should be addressed. Now, for the institutional capacity, people need skills to operate effectively and efficiently on their tasks. But for the institution, for them to be able to apply that skill, they need the requisite equipment that will help them achieve that. So it is from both ends, institutional as well as personal capacity. The personal capacity really will be through technical support, through training, through mentorship, etc. That is why, in fact, when I'm elected, I will ensure that we explore the vast experience among value members, people who are retired from the media, so that we can put that experience to use in order to train younger journalists in terms of enhancing their capacity. Apart from that, we also work with the university to strengthen media training components within their course structure.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sisi. Mr. Kamara, can capacity building be effective without addressing the underlying systemic issues?
No, there's no way it can be effective without addressing the underlying issues, because you need to address those issues for you to be able to build the capacity of your membership or the institution. In 2024, I realized that, for example, the Stereo Reporters Union, the previous executive was not functional. As head of the secretariat, I worked closely with the outgoing executive and the Slaj Electoral Commission for us to have a system in place to make sure that they have credible elections. As I speak, the Parliamentary Reporters Union, sorry, the Stereo Parliamentary Gallery, they are also building their capacity. They are putting their structures in place. Same to Stereo Reporters. For 17 years since they were formed, they've never had any general meeting until this year, February, that they had their very first annual general meeting. So you need to address underlying issues for you to succeed in building the capacity of the institution or an individual.
Thank you so much. Hey, I think this is not ethical. Mr. President of Slaj, you cannot promote such practice. It's not actually decent. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Now it's your turn. You have listened to your colleague. You have listened to your colleague through the 7 thematic areas, and now it's your turn to ask questions. You would have been informed that you need to write your name, as bad as your handwriting is just like mine, but you would not misspell your name or badly write your name. And somebody will help us to read out your name, and then you will ask questions within 1 minute. Go beyond the 1 minute, you lose your slot. That's the ground rules. No personal attack. Automatic area. Thank you.
So please keep dropping your questions because we'll be selecting 3 questions. 3 questions. Please be quick to drop your names. So we have some this one.
I like you. I miss you. I really be no miss you. I like how you be make me body feel. I like how cool you be. You be don't give me all waiting I want. Them been say you know for trust you partner. But I really trust you. You pure, inside and out. In fact, your cleanness and sweet taste, they make her go crazy. A gladdy, where grafting we love, don't come back.
Abubakar Sharif.
Abubakar Sharif, please be on standby. You are the second person to ask the question.
Next is Matthew Charo. Matthew Charo.
Okay, thank you so very much. Let's pause. Can you proceed, sir? Can you proceed with the question?
Can I go on?
Yes.
Yes, my actually my full name is
Please, I'm sorry, let me pray. You don't need just few minutes. Let's just have quiet.
Yes. My name is Chief Abdulrahman Faki, aka the UCB. And for younger generation, folks who don't know, this is the UCB, the original, no duplicate, no imitation. My question actually is for Mr. Manika. I can remember 35 years ago when I came to the university. Every Friday, they will arrest us and take us to Padilla Road, leave us on Monday morning. And Mr. Manika, we have come a long way. And I have gone through all the rigors of humanity. And there are only few people in this world who I can compare to, with all due respect. You said there is no press freedom in Sierra Leone. Do you mean that when journalists or press, generally press, people in the press, the very big professional press, who cannot go to that night, you mean when people offend people?
Sorry, sir, you lost your slot. It's about 1 minute. Sorry, thank you so much. The next person, please.
Thank you very much to the moderator. I'm Abubakar Sharif.
Hold on, Mr. Sharif. Please, let's be patient so we can hear the question from Mr. Sharif. And the opportunity is just 60 seconds. You can now go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'm Abubakar Sharif. I have 2 questions, by the way. I'm pleading for latitude. Yes, so my first question goes to Mr. Sise. Mr. Sise, why do you think you should be elected president of Slaj?
My other question goes to Mr. Alhaji Kamara. You've been part of Slaj executives for 2 consecutive terms, and you seem to suggest that the laws that have been enacted are not progressive enough. I mean, in your introduction, would you kindly tell us if you are elected president? I mean, what would you do differently?
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you can answer the first question, Mr. Sisi.
Basically, I'm aspiring for this position because I have the requisite experience, the requisite professional training and qualification. That is why I'm contesting for this position. But beyond that, when you are electing the president of Slaj, you should also think about representation. Somebody who should be able to represent you well. And I'm sure that I'll be able to provide that kind of representation for Slaj. That is why I am presenting to you the core values of my campaign. That is solidarity, transparency, accountability, responsiveness, and then trust. I will administer Slaj in a manner that is transparent and accountable. I will also ensure that we are responsive, that means we respond instantly. I have a number of examples where we responded to attacks on journalists. One of them was with Habitas Masare, who was arrested in a kidnapped manner in Makeni. We ensured that the police officers that were involved faced the police tribunal, and they found them liable and they were fined. There was also another police officer who attacked a gentleman podium. We ensured that that particular police officer was sacked from the police because as a result of his conduct. Now, another journalist, Manja Bali Masaba, was under threat in Kenya. We have to remove her there to take her to a safe zone. In another instance, there was also an attack on journalists by her neighbors, and the matter was given in court. That was Minister Howard. At the end of the day, our executive provided legal representation for her, and the matter was dismissed out of the court. So these are typical examples of some of the things that we did. So
thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Sisi. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Kumar, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start with my elder brother, Chief Faki. The question that was asked to me was, is there complete rest of, are we enjoying a complete...
Sorry, that's not answer Mr. Asheri's question. No, that was the question.
Okay, Mr. Shahid, like I said earlier, the laws that we have, they are not progressive because they all have restrictions. The thing that we will do differently is to lobby the government to make sure that we have that stand-alone chapter 12 related to press freedom. And I will continue to engage government and the relevant authorities for us to repeal these laws, particularly the Cyber Security and the Crime Act, with specific reference to Section 44. And also, I will continue to call on the President not to sign the Counter-Terrorism Act that was enacted by Parliament until he is convinced that what the Parliament assures Slaj that they work with the African model is true before he signed that document. I will continue to engage, lobby the relevant stakeholders to make sure that we have progressive. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We go to the last person.
Makijano, editor of News Services. My question goes to both presidential aspirants. Here is many past presidents have made both promises during campaigns, but failed a little bit to deliver once by elected. Now the question, what makes your leadership different? And can you publicly commit to a midterm performance review by members and media? So we hold you accountable if you fail short. Thank you.
The question is for both of you, and so we go with Mr. Sisse. The question is for both of you. No. Can you use just 30 seconds to repeat yourself? Thank you. To introduce yourself, we know already. Go straight to the question.
The point is, our many past presidents have made bold promises during campaign, but failed the need to deliver once elected. Now, directly, what makes your leadership different, and can you publicly commit to a midterm performance review by members and the media to hold you accountable to the situations?
Now you understand the question. Do you understand this question?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Now, that's an interesting question in relation to the elements that you have just highlighted. Now, the role of Slaj generally is to, one, protect the interests of journalists, promote journalism and media practice generally, and defend press freedom. To all of those aspects that have to do with hope that are threatened will be addressed by Slaj, and Slaj has to be responsible to them. So the one that you highlighted is just one area that Slaj will address. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sisse. Yes, Mr. Kumar.
Yes, thank you very much. I must say that you've known me for a very long time. I'm a man of my word. Whatever I say, what the committee has to do, I will do it. When I was campaigning for the position of the Secretary General, I assure you that I will serve the President and the membership of Slaj diligently, and I did that. And I'm making a commitment here again today. If you vote me in as your next president, I am open to a midterm review. Whenever you want, it's up to you. I'm always ready. Whatever I said in my manifesto, I'm open to review by the membership. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. We don't want to be here in the room, and we just want one female.
No, we don't know how we're going to do this one. We're going to check there, and the first female, and then we'll pick it from there. Here, and then let's go. The first female name comes from that side. The first one. And then let me introduce Mr. Sisse. Maybe we will look to give us a lady. The first one, that's what we need. Is that a female? Huh?
Yusuf must be a superman. Yusuf must be a superman.
Thank you. There are a lot of people in the room for these questions.
Good evening. This question is to both of you. As a young lady who is a media practitioner, when Monica was making your statement, you made mention related to the gender issue that you work with WINSA to ensure that policies are put in terms of gender issues. There are two institutions when it comes to women in the media. There is division in the media, and we're talking about gender issues. How do you, as the soon-to-be president, both of you, whoever becomes the president, how do you intend to unite these two entities? There's division. How do you?
Thank you. Mr. Sisse, please. And go ahead.
Now, when we come to address those issues, we should look at the character and nature of the two institutions at WINSA is an affiliate of Slaj, and Slaj is a limited liability company. But all of them are media interest women organizations. So we want to see a situation where these institutions are working together in harmony. If it is possible and they are willing, I want to see only one institution, one being a journalist association. If it is possible and they are willing. If you recall the background of RIMSA was created, we are the pioneers for the creation of RIMSA, myself and Ibrahim Kaite. After the training of Muslim journalists wanted to transform themselves into a Muslim journalist female association, and we said no, because the Christian Journalist Female Association will also establish a Christian Journalist Female Association, and there will be rivalries. So what we did was to work with them to establish RIMSA, and we ensured that we allocated an office space to RIMSA. So my relative will continue to engage both parties. We will try to see if it is possible to bring them together, and if they are willing. But if they are not, we will work as much as we could to ensure an amicable working relationship between the two, so that our partner and program. That's why, in fact, I was impressed at one of the events at RIMSA. The president of the executive president of Slaj was there to make a statement in support of candidates that have been put by RIMSA. So we have to strengthen that kind of relationship. I'm happy about doing that kind of relationship.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sise. Mr. Kamara, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Maina, for that question. It is not about what I will do, but what I will do behind the scenes. Even though Slaj officially wrote a letter to Slaj for us to mention their name, myself and the president, we are on record. We've been engaging the membership, the leadership of Slaj to see, together with Minister, to see how best we can come together again. There was a time we set up a committee comprising of civil society activities to set up, to bridge the peace between the two of them. To the point that they presented a report to Slaj, and both parties can recall at the Slaj secretariat. We intended to invite the media for them to cover the program live, but they said they don't want it to be live, and they promised to work together, but it did not work. Later on, myself and the president, together with the MRT coordinator, Dr. Stoa, and the outgoing, because he's yet to hand over, the outgoing chairman of the municipal, the Guild of People Editors, we again intervened when Slaj had an issue at the court. We intervened to see how best we can remove the case from the court to settle. Once elected as the president, I will continue to broker the peace between them. I know for sure, most of the members of Slaj, they are also members of RIMSA. They can still work as sisters. If they disagree to work together, Slaj, like my brother has said, they are common. Slaj is common. There is no way you can affiliate with them. That's the fact. You can't affiliate with Slaj. But they can work with RIMSA. And at the same time, if they have that cordiality with RIMSA.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You can now have your seat. We have come to the end of this training program. I've been here for my colleague and I for 4 hours and 7 minutes, freely for our colleagues in the media. And it is a pleasure from me and my colleague, she's going to talk. From our end, that's a pleasure to moderate this program and control the time management for people who used to pose questions to me on their own session. So I take charge of my own session. And I wish all of you good luck in this exercise and ensure that we all, as partners in the media and civil society, have a very good Slaj that will continue to promote press freedom in Sierra Leone, and we keep holding our leaders accountable and even us in the civil society. Thank you all guys for me.
Thank you very much for the issue. Of course, I am not disappointed. I started on the very first
Thank you and good night.
Alright, thank you so much for coming, and thanks to the waiters and the candidates. We wish them all the best. Appreciation to the Council, Afrocell, and Capital Foods. Till then, I've been your host, Eric Kawan. Thank you.
Una kushe, my name na Ellen Kista. Una welcome to the grafting water facility where the mission na for provide pure, refreshing spring water na salon. Na yaso we journey begin, na the art for all this. We natural spring na the foundation for grafting water. We dey make sure say every bottle begin with the best gift we nature get. We proud for keep the water clean and maintain the best quality. Na yaso the water dey pass for go na the filtration and treatment lab. It dey pass through boku stages like iron, carbon, ultrafiltration, polisher, and UV for make sure say every drop of water meets the highest international standard. At every stage, we dey take sample fast for the lab. The water bottle then can begin as small rubber tube. Then it dey pass na the advanced machine where they heat and blow am up. Then it turn to water bottle shape. This process they make sure say the bottle then light and they tay. After that, the machine can send the bottle then one time at the filling station. The filling machine they make sure say they fill the bottle correct one and fine one. This machine so advanced not they allow any jams for enter inside. The bottle then seal with strong cover where not they allow dirty for enter. And the process so fast for make sure say the water fresh and get the best quality. During this process, the lab technician can take the water na the lab every hour for test them. Quality control na the main thing we dey do na yaso. What we dey do for each international standards?
For each international standard, we grafting they make sure say we check for microbes inside water, and also we dey check for germs them wey dey inside the water and bacteria. And also, e not tap there. We also dey check for excess chemical wey dey inside the water. So that it make grafting really special.
Okay. You see, this commitment to quality control, now it make grafting water so special. Where the quality assurance done they in place, it they pass through one other machine where they wrap the label around the bottle fast. So when you see the new iconic grafting water label, it don't show say you for trust we brand. Where it come out there, the machine they wrap them fine and it puts in a bundle for make it easy for carry and go. Guess wetin? Na the first water company na salon we get robots where they pack the water fine na the pallets. This technology they make the work fast and professional. So we able for keep boku water na we warehouse for making us short in the market. This a fully automatic water machine na in they do all the work from the beginning to the end for keep the water safe, fresh and clean. And we get brand new truck that way ready for deliver the water to you anytime you in a salon. If you want smaller boku water, just call this number when 099 998 998. Grafting water, we love don't come back.